Sugar pies and pointy elbow disciples. The HEX and PulseChain community needs to revise their marketing talking points. It is important going forward into the bull market. We can't judge the new people coming in if they have a certain way of thinking. You also have to take a look in the mirror. Are they silly, or are your existing marketing talking point messages silly? You have to be honest, because right now, the existing talking points look a bit silly. They need to be revised. I am here to bring them up. We have to think about what's wrong now and how can we improve it. There's always a path forward. So these talking points from Richard Hart, they are blasted everywhere. This is one of the advantages and disadvantages of putting out marketing talking points, because when things don't go your way, the haters, the non-believers, will send them back to you. What do we do about them? Let's continue. Richard Hart always says volatility is the price you pay for the highest appreciating asset. Here we go.
I like people that quote like distance down from the top. Like some guy on Twitter's talking trash. He's like, hey, Bitcoin's down 30%. Or no, Bitcoin's down 38%, but HEX is down 60%. And you're like, hey, man, do you know... How many times has HEX been down 60%? 7, 8, 9 times. Volatility is the price you pay for the world's best performing asset. So the reason that we went up 1,000,000% is because there's high volatility. It's just mostly to the upside. And so if you just cherry pick your timings, you can always find a dip, but you have to zoom in a lot. Because if you zoom out, it's all the best looking chart that the world has ever seen.
Okay, I'm going to stop there because I know it's just, I know what the emotional reaction you're getting. This was back when the thing was going up. Because yes, we can talk about these, but then you see this chart, which is what everyone's looking like, and you say, change it to the log chart. Habib, the log chart doesn't look that good either. You know what I mean? The log chart shows it's been going down for longer than it's been going up. You can't look at this and tell people they're silly. It's been going down 707 days, and it's been going up for 644 days. So it's literally been going down. It's been suffering for longer than it's been going up. So what do? We can't roll over and die. There has to be an adjustment. So volatility is the price you pay for the highest appreciating asset is going to change. Especially, you now have BNB. They had way less volatility. You can't tell people this. It's up 2,780x. And total HEX is about 23x. Now, even if you round it up and get the inflation and the rewards and all of this, okay, make it 100x. It's still, there's a big difference between 2,700, 800, and 100x. You can see this yellow line up here, no volatility. Look at this, minus 99.3%, 0.4%, right? And the quote-unquote perceived abandonment doesn't help either. But, friend, like, let's be honest. We know the truth, man. Before the SEC came, we were already down minus 98, 99%. Like, let's just be honest, okay? So we have to get stronger in these times. We have to forge everything that we're going to use for the future. So you have BNB here. Plus, there's a bit of a thorn in everyone's side as well. There's something out there that exists called SHIB. SHIB did 1 million X. Yes, 1 million. It was actually 1.3 million X. Not percent, X's. Yes, $1 in SHIB became $1.3 million up here. That's right. And Metcalfe's law worked on it. How much is SHIB down? 91%. That's another issue as well. Because I know people say, oh, down 90, down 98. Bro, people know, man. People know. People know that the difference, but people now know, okay? The difference between 99% and 90% is a 10x. So if you have 10,000 in your wallet right now after being crushed, well, they know, oh man, if I was in SHIB, I'd have 100K instead of 10K. They know that. They think, is that a sign of weakness and dying? So now that we're in the mind of the average retailer, we can start to move forward. Because when we start to move forward, we can see that there are paths that we can take. So to recap, all right, you can't say going minus 99% down is just volatility. You can't say that. Look, you can say that, good luck, in your own little bubble. It's not going to work on anybody. You know, on Twitter, you know, on YouTube, go speak to anybody. Go tell them, yeah, you're down 99%, that's fine. Because they're sending you Richard Hart talking points back. There's literally Richard Hart clips of him saying, your coin more than minus 95% down is freaking trash. No product market fit. How can you say that? And where's he basing it off? He's basing it off Bitcoin. He's basing it off Ethereum. He's basing it off Doge. He said Doge was basically the limit, minus 96%, and then it flunked up. So these things, they're great for the community, but hey, man, I got frustrated too. I get all these DMs and all these messages. I'm like, you know what? You know, there's 400 hours of great stuff, and they find that one piece of 8 seconds to clip. But it is what it is. You got to deal with it. That's what happens. So we know we also can't call it the highest appreciating asset because no one's going to take it seriously. We know this, okay? And they can see it from this chart. They see everybody just charts this. Look at this. One's headed literally straight to the floor. One's going up. And everybody knows the first day adoption amplifier was around here anyway. So it's, you know, we got to deal with this, friends. You can't look at it and say, nah, let's morph how we do the chart. It doesn't work like that. There is a way forward. Now, it is fun to do an imaginary 10,000x measurement from the bottom. It is. But the 140,000 people in the system don't care about those 150 people. They just don't care. Right? They're in an ecosystem down minus 98.2% from the top after 2 years. So what do we do, man? Well, I'm going to do what Richard does. Let's go look at the leader, Bitcoin. What happens in Bitcoin? Bitcoin holders dream of $1 million Bitcoin. They don't care about Max Kaiser's buy-in from $1. That doesn't excite them. They don't care about the $1 purchase from Roger Ver. His $400,000 Bitcoin purchase. They don't care about them, man. They care about the future gains. Now, you might say $1 million is a joke. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They care about it. You know, the Bitcoin narratives have changed too. They have changed, friends. So what I'm sharing with you is a natural part of the maturing process of crypto. Bitcoin set the way. You know, Bitcoin at the start was seen as a weird religious cult, magic internet money, complete magic internet money. Satoshi, a weird dude on the internet, anonymous. There was an inflation bug, weird things going on, no exchanges. No one knew how it works. No one knew what a halvening is. Then Cyprus happened in 2013. Cyprus did the bank bail-in. They stole everybody's money to pay off the debts. No one had any choice. Crushed the traditional finance system, crushed everyone. And then Bitcoin became FU money, solidified FU money. Stick it to the rich man who uses a barbed whip to whip the poor men and women out there in the streets. It was actually FU money with a big middle finger. Here's your middle finger, right? Then we came into the early majority phase. Bitcoin was half seen as FU money, but now it was seen with the memes, Bizanacci memes, John McAfee eating his willy, Tim Draper. People became more pragmatic. They said, well, now it's just a better money system. Before it was FU money. Now I'm just doing it. I don't even care if it's better or worse. I hate you. Now it's like, hey, it's a better money system. What about in the most recent bull market? Bitcoin is no longer FU money, friends. Bitcoin is cybernetic hornet's nest. Bitcoin is digital real estate from New York. Who said that? None other than Sir Michael Saylor. Digital real estate. Hornet's nest. Cybernetic. Has nothing to do with FU money. Michael Saylor does not come in and say, FU government. Look how much it's changed in those 10 years. Now we're 10 years in. He's just saying it's better, it's efficient, it's like a battery. It's a battery. You can store supersonic hyperwave batteries and moving it around. And then you have Elon Musk coming in for his own reasons. Elon Musk saw Bitcoin as a meme to pump Tesla and to get people to dream about higher valuations. By the way, yes, that's the real reason he got into Bitcoin. He got into Bitcoin because he saw MicroStrategy hit like a 13-year high in its stock price as people were starting to price in $1 million Bitcoin in the stock. So he says, well, okay, if they start pricing in $1 million Bitcoin into Tesla, my valuation's going to go trillions. That's what happened now, friends. And what about now? Now, what's Bitcoin now? Look at these guys. Blackberry. Bitcoin is no longer FU money. Blackberry own 4 of the 5 biggest Bitcoin miners. Blackberry even have a clause saying in the event of a Bitcoin split, We're going to decide who's the real Bitcoin. It's in their clause, by the way. I'm not making this up. The insiders are in. The skeptics are in. The overlords, the bug eaters, they're in. Look how much it changed from FU money. But hey, there's a difference. Do you notice the difference? It used to be $5. Now, it's going up to $50,000. That's the difference. It matured. The narrative changed, but the price kept going up because you kept onboarding more people. And some people call them suckers. But hey, are they all suckers? You finally got the government in. So you see how these narratives change, friends? That's why I want you to know that when we're talking about HEX, PulseChain, PulseX, we have to think about great narratives that we can focus on as well. Here are some quick off-the-cuff ones I'm speaking about. So for PulseChain, for example, PLS, right? Pulse. What do I think is cool? I think focusing on cycle 1 coin is great. It's a cycle 1 coin. First cycle, how high can it go? I know people are going to say, oh, but what happens when it's cycle 2? Don't worry. We'll worry about that when it happens. Richard Hart knew HEX wouldn't be the sexiest thing on the block forever. He's probably going to emulate the Bitcoin and Ethereum narratives and how they transpired as well. You have to play to your strengths. The strength right now is it's a cycle 1 coin. Also, 10,000 daily active users. That's why people tell me, oh, PulseChain sucks. Guess what? It's only got 10,000 daily active users. There are more people out there who are paying for pictures of girls' feet than there are using PulseChain daily active right now. That is enormous upside. Why? Because Cardano has 140,000 daily active users at the top of 2021. I've already done Metcalfe's Law, many pictures here. It was 10,000 in 2020, and then it grew to 140K people. Now, it really grew to around an average of 100, but it hit 140. That's why you 10x'd the user base. You got 100x the PP. 100x your massive PP price growth. I think one day it's possible. By the way, if you want to know what's Cardano at today, it's about 50,000. Maybe it's a bit less because it's bear market, a bit less. But it hit 50,000 a few months ago. That's fantastic. It grew from 10,000 to 140, from 10 up to 140, back to 50. Higher base. And that's why Cardano has a higher floor level. And you're looking at the chart right now. Now, on a linear chart, it looks pretty poop. But on a log chart, you can see this is when it had 10,000 daily active users. This is when it went to 100, 140K. Now it's down here. Now, it's probably undervalued. Maybe it should be up higher. But isn't that a nice looking chart over the long term if it keeps going up? So those are 2 quick talking points for PulseChain I like. What about PulseX? I like these 2. Owning PulseX is owning the casino. Yes, it is. So you go to PulseChain, you see all these coins launching all the time. Yeah. Owning PulseX, even though, yeah, it sucks, it's down minus 90%. But you're owning the casino. If you think people are going to gamble, or people are going to try to do financial engineering, or people are going to do financial experiments, or any of the above or any combination, owning the casino is something you want to do. How amazing is that? You are the casino. Be the casino. I like that. Be the casino. Own the casino. That's why you can sleep at night. The buy and burn. We can also play around with the numbers. Big time. Remember, we're also doing numbers such as, PulseX was doing like, the whole chain was doing like, $20, $30 million per day. It hit $400 million at the start. Imagine it can do $1 billion per day. The buy and burn. You can just calculate all that buy pressure coming in. Those are something good to think about. The buy and burn. That's the second talking point. So we forge strength in these tough times, friends. This is PulseChain, PulseX. I've done the hard work for everybody. We can think of more. Now, what about HEX? Now, in my Twitter posts, I don't have ones for HEX because I want everybody to think of them. What can you do? Because HEX is cycle 2 now, What I think is good is you can compare it to something else out there. Have you heard of a coin called Bitcoin? Bitcoin is cycle 4. HEX is now entering cycle 2. So I think that is a big strength. Compare Bitcoin and HEX, cycle 4, cycle 2. Talk about the yield. I think it's important to let people know how much yield gets dumped in Bitcoin. Just so your friends know. Bitcoin mines, 900 Bitcoin per day, the Bitcoin miners. 30 days in a month, 27,000 Bitcoin. So if you wanted to do this imaginary $100,000 number that everybody's thinking about, I want you to think about this. Tell them what happens if Bitcoin hits $500,000, because that's what everybody's dreaming about. You do 27,000 Bitcoin mined per day. There's going to be a halvening. So you'll divide it by 2. 13,500 Bitcoin per month, sorry. And then you multiply that by $500,000. You get $6.7 billion of sell pressure every single month. Me and you can't affect change in that. It's too big. 6.7 billion. And yes, they dump. And they've been willing to dump. They've been waiting to dump the whole time. Even with the Bitcoin halvening, because the price has gone up so much. HEX doesn't have this. You can focus on the number of users in the system. So this is something good to think about. I like this. If someone, think about this. I just told you, Bitcoin, if it goes to your targets, you need $6.7 billion of retailer money coming in just to pump up those bags, or institutions every month to keep it from going to zero. Powerful. But I think as well, a big advantage we have is the number of users. This is another talking point, friends. This is really important, what I'm about to tell you. HEX only has 150,000 people in there. Bitcoin has 200 million holders. Yes, M for friendship. 200 million. Think about that. So this isn't some joke. And you can verify this. Go Google it, check it around. That's a lot of people, friends. From 150,000 to 200 million people. That's big. People ask me as well, why do you even bother with HEX and PulseChain community? Oh, isn't it obvious? We've got 150,000 people. I can affect change. We aren't even here when it's hit 1 million people, man. And this is the chart right here. Shout out to Mr. Gerardo. Beautiful website. Look into hex.com. So you can see right here where the red line is. Total HEX stakers, 159,000. There you go. It's tiny by comparison. And of course, we have to tell people about Metcalfe's law because it's true and it works. It worked on Doge. It worked on everything. Look, not only am I talking about Bitcoin, I'm talking about Doge, man. Look, Bitcoin has 200 million users, and I'm already ready, okay? Because half the time, I'll make maybe more than half. If I compare HEX stats to Bitcoin, people will laugh. They'll say, how dare you compare it to Bitcoin? But here's another thing I can tell you. Compare it to Doge, man. Habids. Doge has 4.8 million holders. 4.8 million holders for Doge. Does nothing. HEX only has 160,000-ish. You telling me we can't get there? Maybe we never get there. Maybe we get to 1 million. That's still big, man. 8x the user base, 64x the price growth. You're not getting 64x in Doge. You're not turning Doge from 4 million holders to 32 million holders without a significant move done by Elon or Bitcoin going to frickin' 900K, whatever it is. So look at these advantages. Play to the advantage. That's the advantage. I've gone through PulseChain, PulseX, and HEX talking points. These are the ones I've made, and I'm not joking. I've spent about 60 seconds thinking about each of them. Feel free to add to them. Think about how we move forward with this because we are setting ourselves. This is actually planting the seeds for the future because we can affect change. We can't affect change in Bitcoin, man. It's already set in stone. Hell, I can barely affect change in Chainlink. Can't do anything about Chainlink, friends. The buggies have already chosen it. They've already set their path for this. But the path isn't that set. We're undervalued. Let's see how high we can go in the bull market. Because ultimately, that is what we are playing for. Catch you to the next one, friends. Like, subscribe, bell button, or make sure you tell mum and dad we love and appreciate them. See you soon.